So for writing the conventional symbol, we will have to write O, that is the symbol for oxygen, and on the left side on top we would have to write A, and down we would have to write Z, where A stands for the mass number and Z stands for the atomic number. So here they have told us that oxygen has 8 protons and 8 neutrons in its nucleus. For the atomic number, we know that it is equal to the number of protons in the nucleus, and that is 8. So we know the value of Z as 8, and the value of A, that is mass number, is equal to the number of protons plus the number of neutrons in the nucleus, that is 8 plus 8, which is 16. So finally we would have to write 16 on top, 8 down, and O on the side. So this is what the symbol for oxygen would look like. Let's go to the second one. Atomic number of carbon is 6. How many electrons are there in a carbon atom? So they are telling us that the atomic number, that is Z, is 6 for carbon. So that is the number of protons in carbon is 6. And we know that the number of protons is equal to the number of electrons. Therefore, the number of electrons also in carbon would be 6.
The next one tells us that a sodium atom contains 11 electrons. What is the atomic number of sodium? So this is similar to the previous question, but in the reverse format, where they are giving us the number of electrons and asking us for the atomic number. So atomic number is Z, and that is equal to the number of protons inside the atom. And the number of protons is equal to the number of electrons. Therefore, a sodium atom will have an atomic number of 11. The atomic number and mass number of magnesium are 12 and 24 respectively. How will you show this by the conventional symbol? So here they are giving us A and Z together, and they are telling us to write the atomic number and mass number of magnesium in the conventional method. So the symbol for magnesium is Mg. So we write Mg, and on top we would have to write A, and below we would have to write Z. So atomic number is Z, and that is 12. So that will be below written as Z. And on top would be the mass number, that is 24. And this is how you would write magnesium in its conventional symbol method. The next one is the atomic number and mass number of calcium are 20 and 40 respectively. Deduce the number of neutrons present in the calcium nucleus. So here they are telling us the atomic number is 20 and the mass number is 40. So the mass number is equal to the number of protons and the number of neutrons in the nucleus. So that is 40 would be equal to the number of protons plus the number of neutrons. And we know that 20 is given as the atomic number. So 20 is the number of protons present in the nucleus. So we know that the number of protons is 20. So therefore 40 minus 20 would give us the number of neutrons, and that is equal to 20. So now we know that the number of neutrons present in this calcium atom is 20. So now we will study the distribution of electron. As per Bohr's atomic model, electrons revolve in stable shells, and that shells Bohr had named it as K, L, M, N, etc. These shells have a definite energy, that is, each shell will have a specific amount of energy as per the atom. So the K shell will have a certain amount of energy, and that will be different from the L shell, M shell, etc. The shell nearest to the nucleus is called the first shell. The next shell is called the second shell, and so on. A symbol N is used for the ordinal number of the shell. The shells are referred to by the symbols K, L, M, N, etc. corresponding to the ordinal numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. So the first number shell would be K shell, and the second number would be L shell, etc. The maximum number of electrons a shell can contain is obtained by the formula 2n square, and this is a very important formula because by this formula we can come to know the maximum electrons a shell can have. So for example, let's take the second shell, that is the L shell. That would be 2 into 2 square, which is 2 into 4. So the second shell would have 8 electrons as the maximum number that is there in that shell. As the magnitude of n increases, the energy of an electron in that shell also increases. So as an electron jumps from k shell to L shell and from L shell to M shell, the energy will go on increasing. Can you tell? There is a similarity in the atomic structure and the solar system. The planets revolve around the sun due to gravitational force. Which force might be acting in the atomic structure? So as the planets revolve around the sun in the solar system, similarly there are electrons in an atom that revolve around the nucleus, and therefore the planets in the solar system are very similar to the electrons of the atom. Now the planets are attracted to the sun because of the gravitational force of the sun. Similarly, the electrons are attracted to the nucleus because of the positive charge of the protons in the nucleus. And since the electrons are negatively charged, they have a strong attraction. Positively charged protons are together in the nucleus. We know that positive charges repel each other. So how is it that positively charged protons are held together in the nucleus? What might be one of the functions of the neutrons in the nucleus? So the neutrons are present in the nucleus only so that the protons do not get repelled from each other. Therefore, they are present between the protons. Now let us study about the electronic configuration of elements. We have seen that 2, 8, 18, 32, etc. electrons can be accommodated in the shells K, L, M, N, etc. respectively. So the K shell would have a maximum of 2 electrons, L shell would have a maximum of 8 electrons, M shell would have a maximum of 18 electrons, N shell would have a maximum of 32 electrons, and so on. This is the maximum capacity of that shells. The electrons in an atom are distributed in the shells according to their maximum capacity. So the next shell after that would only start filling once the previous shell has its maximum capacity. So the third electron would be added to the L shell only after the first 2 electrons have been put in the K shell. The shell-wise distribution of the electron in an atom of an element is called the electronic configuration of that element. So this is what the configuration of the elements are. Each electron has a definite energy as per the shell in which it is present. So each shell, depending on the atom, has a specific amount of energy. Energy of an electron in the first shell, that is the K shell, is the lowest. And as the shell increases in size, the energy also increases. Energy of the electron in subsequent shells goes on increasing with the ordinal number of the shell. The electronic configuration of an element is such that the energy of all the electrons together is the maximum possible. So the electronic configuration of each atom is made in such a way that it can obtain the maximum amount of energy. Electrons get a place in the shells in accordance with the maximum capacity of electron shell in an atom and the increasing order of energy. So this is similar to what we studied, in which the first electrons would be in the innermost shell and subsequent electrons would be placed in the outer shells so as to obtain maximum energy. Let us now look at the electronic configuration of atoms of some elements in the following table. The rows 1 to 3 are filled in this table. Accordingly, you have to fill the rest of the table. So let us fill this together. So in this table, we can see the first column is telling us of the different atoms. The second column, the symbols of the atom. The third column, the electron number in the atom. This is telling us the total number of electrons in that atom. And we have to distribute those electrons in the respective shells. And finally, we have to write the electronic configuration in the numerical form. So the first few examples are already solved for us. Let us see. Hydrogen is the symbol H and it has just one electron in the atom. And that first electron will be placed in the first shell, that is the K shell. Therefore, the electron configuration is just one. It does not have any more electrons, therefore the other shells would be empty. The second atom is helium. The symbol for helium is He. We cannot write just H because H is already taken by hydrogen. Therefore, the symbol for helium is He. The number of electrons it has is 2. Therefore, both those electrons would be in the first shell, that is the K shell, and the other shells would be empty. And the electronic configuration would be just 2. The third one is lithium. Lithium is Li. The total number of electrons it has is 3. So, the first 2 electrons would go in the first shell, that is the K shell, because K shell can only have a maximum of 2 electrons. Therefore, the first 2 has to be put in the K shell and then 1 is remaining and that 1 will go in the L shell. So, the configuration would be 2, 1 because 2 electrons in the K shell and 1 electron in the L shell. The M shell and the N shell would be empty. The fourth example is carbon. Carbon is denoted by the symbol C. It has 6 electrons in its atom. So, the first 2 electrons would be in the K shell and that is constant. And once you subtract 2 from 6, we are left with 4. And that 4 electrons would go in the L shell because L shell has a total of 8 electrons. And we have only 4 left. So, all 4 will go in the L shell. Finally, the electronic configuration would be 2, 4 and the M shell and N shell would be empty. The next one is nitrogen. Nitrogen is denoted by symbol N and it has 7 electrons. This would be similar to carbon and we have to put the first 2 in the K shell and that will be remaining 5 electrons which would go in the L shell. The other 2 shells would be empty and the final configuration would be 2, 5. The next atom is oxygen. Oxygen is denoted by the symbol O and it has 8 electrons in its atom. So, the first 2 electrons would go in the K shell and when you minus 2 from 8, we would get 6 and those remaining 6 electrons would go in the L shell. There are no more electrons left, therefore M and N shell would be empty and the electronic configuration would be 2, 6. Now, fluorine is given by the symbol F and it has 9 electrons in its atom. So, the first 2 electrons would go in the K shell and 9 minus 2 will give us 7 and the remaining 7 electrons would go in the L shell. There are no more electrons again, so M and N will be empty and the electronic configuration would be 2, 7. Neon is given by the symbol Ne and it has 10 electrons in total in its atom. So, the first 2 electrons will go in the K shell and then 10 minus 2 will give us 8 and the remaining 8 electrons would go in the L shell. So, now notice that the L shell also is full because L can only contain 8 electrons in total. Therefore, now if there was another electron in neon, it would have been moved to the M shell. But now since there are only 10 electrons, we are done and our configuration would be 2, 8. The next one is sodium. Sodium is denoted by the symbol Na and it has 11 electrons in total. So, the first 2 electrons would go in the K shell and 11 minus 2 would give us 9. But L shell can only contain 8 electrons. So we need to put 8 electrons in the L shell and now 9 minus 8 would give us 1. So that 1 electron would go in the M shell. But N shell would remain empty. So now our configuration would be 2, 8, 1. The next one is chlorine. Chlorine is denoted by the symbol Cl and it has 17 electrons in its atom. So, the first 2 electrons would go in the K shell. 17 minus 2 is 15. But L shell can only have 8 electrons. So, 15 minus 8 is 7. So, 8 electrons would go in the L shell and the remaining 7 electrons would go in the M shell. So, now our configuration is 2, 8 and 7. The next one is argon. Argon is given by the symbol Ar and it has 18 electrons in total. So again, the first 2 electrons would go in the K shell, 8 electrons would go in the L shell. 8 plus 2 is 10 and 18 minus 10 is 8. So we have 8 electrons remaining and those 8 electrons would go in the M shell because the M shell has a total capacity of 18 electrons. And now the electronic configuration would be 2, 8, 8. The last one is bromine. Bromine is denoted by the symbol Br and it has 35 electrons. So the first 2 electrons would go in the K shell and the next 8 electrons would go in the L shell. Now we have to subtract 10 from 35. That would give us 25. But M shell can only have 18 electrons. So 25 minus 18 is 7. So once we put the 18 electrons in the M shell, we are left with the 7 electrons that will go in the N shell. So now our configuration becomes 2, 8, 18, 7. For the answers to this exercise and other free worksheets, please go to jkacademypro.com. This was the end of part 5. For the part 6 video, please click on the link in the description box below.